Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome back to Infinite
Hello, hello,
RP
hello,
and
everybody,
episode
and welcome
11
back
of
to
the Lost
Infinite
City of
RP.
Vedranis. Hope you've all been well. It's good to see everybody. Let's just go around and see how everybody's been doing. It's been a couple weeks. We didn't play last week, so I've missed everybody. So let's go around and see how everybody's doing. Derek, how's your 2 weeks been, man?
My 2 weeks have been great, Cole. Thank you so much for asking. I have been busy hanging out, catching up with family, and just getting back to a little bit of the outside world, catching up with some folks, and then just playing a lot of old video games, and then jumping into Game Pass as well. That's half where the old video games come from. But there's so much stuff on there, and I'm just having fun gaming, streaming, playing some Apex. Same old, same old.
Hell yeah, keeping it real. Love it,
And
love
how?
it.
Damn right.
Damn straight. Awesome. Ray, how have you been?
I have been doing well myself, just, same thing, catching up with family, getting ready to go back to school, just bopping around, working a lot, just doing the damn thing. It's been good.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Justin, how's your week been? You guys have both been on vacation. So
Yes, but not together.
not together.
Just at the same time.
Around it.
No, I'm doing great. Yeah, my family and we went out to the coast for family reunion. And so I was out of town last week. It was great. And then but I had a Vadrana shaped hole inside my heart. And I couldn't wait to get back and play
does that-
Dungeons and Dragons.
What does that hole look like?
You tell me, Dungeon Master.
It's a big asshole.
Greg.
It
Go ahead
It's
and
a what, Isla?
describe the hole.
It's a big ass hole.
Oh, okay. Where are we putting the hyphen here?
Between ass
All right,
and
yeah,
hole.
I'm done.
No,
that's
big
okay.
ass.
I'm good.
Big
Thank you for
ass
asking. It's good to be here.
hole.
Thank you.
Yeah.
oh
Thank you.
god.
Let's go
Isla,
Dungeons and
how's your
Dragons.
week?
Great.
About as successful as that sentence that I just tried to
Oh
say.
my god.
It's been okay. It's been okay. Despite how I look today, the rest of the week I've looked like a freaking gremlin. It's been one of those weeks. In fact, just for a little bit of illusion breaking, I'm wearing sweats under this.
Oh, that's good.
That's just that's amazing. That's
It's
That
big.
makes
Tell
me
us
feel
what your legs
slightly
look like.
better.
That's
What?
like that's rule number one. Don't tell anybody what your legs look like. We're not
It's
supposed to let
fine.
people know.
Oh no,
You
I don't have legs. I don't have legs.
Oh, okay.
It's just this. Okay.
Floating torso.
No, it's been a bit of a dumpster fire of a week, but we're good now. We're good. What am I hyped about today? I've got a Red Bull, so I'm gonna be bouncing off the fucking walls. And yeah, we're thank you, Schmooch. Yeah, we're vibing today. So
exactly.
we're ready.
Nothing bad can possibly happen in this campaign. It's just sunshine and daisies the whole time. But glad to have you all here. Yep, exactly. All
Well,
right.
how are you?
How am I? Oh god, I always forget to talk about myself. I don't like doing it, but I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Have been going through withdrawals for sure from D&D, so it's good to be back. Not doing much. Doing a little bit of role play here and there. Just vibing like everybody, just working on me, just being me. So it's been good. So thanks for asking. I appreciate it. All right. Well, let's do a little bit of a recap and hop right into the game. Last we left off, you guys had been spending a week in the Old Croak Asylum, which is a medical institution run by the Kyrogen, who you've had many a dealings with. They have given you rest and respite here for helping them take care of one of their patients that was seemingly sick with the plague that turned into this weird, monstrous, grotesque creature. Each of you did various things during your long rest. Vauder went into the chapel and did some holy things. Can't remember
Did some
exactly.
holy thing.
You did some holy things.
Wave his hands around.
You did some cleric things, you know.
You danced.
You danced, and it was you ended up partying though.
Mhm.
And things like that. You all heard some rumors, which Captain Kimura investigated one about this mysterious peddler that seems to show up promptly at midnight from time to time, in which you met this midnight peddler and purchase some ammunition, tried to purchase some other things and information, but this peddler didn't always seem to care for gold, but more so trinkets and things of uniqueness and interest. He brought Knock out to trade his hands that he uses to summon his lightning javelin.
No more.
Not no more. But in return, you received the Peddler's Bell, which is a magical item that you can use to ring at midnight to summon this peddler if ever you should so need. I have actually added that to your character sheet, so you can look at that and the rules pertaining to that. You guys also arm wrestled. Knock arm wrestled a yoked out halfling or gnome, I believe, and won. But then Vodder wanted to get in on the arm wrestling action and also lost to Knock. I believe Knock scored 2 natural 20s in a row on the arm wrestling checks. So maybe next time. You guys were then able to meet Sigismund, the Aarakocra leader of the Kyrogen, in which he explained to you that this plague that is running rampant through the Old Croak Market is not naturally occurring, but was created by an old colleague of his named Dr. Karina Licht. He told you she used a warp stone to create this plague, and after trying to go and confront her about it, ended in her death. He tasked you, this wonderful band of adventurers, to find her secret laboratory and bring this warp stone to him so that he might reverse engineer, in a way, this plague and create a cure to remedy the market itself. In exchange, he promised you direction and aid to the location of lureweed, which is used as a vital ingredient into curing the maladies that Knock and Vodder do currently possess. So, that is where we begin tonight. You guys have rested for the night and are waking up the next morning preparing for your next adventure. What do you guys do?
So Wisp probably, for most of that, like when downtime was happening, was probably meditating. So I think she'd probably be one of the first people to wake up and just kind of do like a morning meditation, get ready for like whatever's to come. She's packing up her mat. She's writing some scripture in her book with the 6 different, or the, I think she's got four different colors and the different languages. She's kind of doing like her morning ritual. She'd probably get up pretty early to do that. Where did we sleep?
You've been sleeping in the like western wing of the asylum, where the patients are. So it's kind of a it's a room where there's a bunch of patients, currently residing, and there's nurses and orderlies coming through and kind of checking and giving them their morning medications and things like that. Most of them have left you guys to your own devices and really not try to give you a decent berth. But yeah, you guys are kind of in amongst some of the patients here.
She also has been making a ritual to like in the day, like after she gets ready and wakes up and takes down her hair and all of that, wrapping her scarf around her face to cover her nose and her mouth while being around the patients, just to be, cautious. She's just kind of like up and about, waiting for everybody else, eating a ration.
Vodder makes sure Vodder would have. Vodder's been doing regular religious stuff. He's been doing regular ceremonies and stuff like that in the chapel area, such as it seems to be. And if anyone had even started coming, last time I think we said that just nobody ever shows up, but he still does them. So if anybody had started coming, like he would want to get one last one in there before he leaves the asylum. and so he would do that at daybreak probably.
Okay. Yeah, there's
dawn and dusk are very important to him, and
right.
to Valoon. So especially at dawn, like right when the sun's coming up, he would do something like that.
Okay. There are a couple Kyrogen that come in. There are a pair of them, and it looks like they've probably just recently gotten back from some sort of excursion or something outside of the asylum. As they come in and they, undo the belts that are holding their masks together and kind of go up to the altar that's at the front, where the crow skull is and whatnot, and they kind of look at you and give you a bit of a reverent nod, but don't say anything to you unless you start, No,
he's used to that by now. I think that's happened a couple times, and so he's fine with other people having their own space, and he knows he's a guest here, so he's just fine over in the corner of some some unused closet doorway or something like that, wherever he set up his altar.
Knock rolls very much out of bed, starts to adorn himself with all of his different pieces of armor, leather armor, and he gets to the point where he's getting ready to tie the hide and tie the fur wrap that hangs by his waist, and he takes extra long to look around it. And if anybody else who has just woken up may have seen him, he almost looks like that man that he's just looking at himself as like making a weight change and the belt doesn't fit, like something's off. So he looks at it and he ties it to himself, and then goes to the front of the I'm gonna go right by where the wagon is, where we're gonna get ready to go ahead and depart. He wants to just make his way right out of the facility. So he walks all the way down, probably past Fodder and past Wisp as they're doing their morning routine, and heads out to where the steps would be of the asylum.
Okay. And you can see them. You see a wagon up there, and it seems a few of the orderlies and Kyrogen are loading some boxes of supplies into this wagon. And you can see Roderick, who is kind of giving commands and telling these Kyrogen what to do. It looks like there's still a few things that they're finishing up and whatnot, harnessing up the pair of horses and things like that. So you still think you've got like a little bit of time before you're ready to depart, but yeah.
Okay. I will watch. I'll kind of sit on the steps and watch them load things into the wagon. I'll go and I'll take out my axe and a little bit of slate and start to sharpen the obsidian on the axe.
How many stories is the asylum, would you say?
It's about 4 stories. It's pretty big.
Okay, so Kimura is actually just with her equipment. She's sitting on the roof with her legs kind of dangling over, and she's just looking around, basically.
I want to go over to where Kimura is sitting and just kind of like go up and sit next to her after I pack up all my things, and I'm like, I've got everything strapped to me. I'll go sit down and take out my staff and kind of just like, I don't know, just play with the wall, just kind of hold it in my hands so she can occupy her hands.
Vodder goes around and is saying goodbye to each one of the patients and staff.
Okay.
Anyone who he's had any sort of contact with. Very sincere, very genuine.
Yeah, you see Tatiana there. There's an orderly handing her a cup of tea. And you can, as you're walking up, you can hear her saying to this orderly, Have you seen my husband? And you can tell, like, you've seen this orderly, and you've been here long enough that this is just a daily thing.
Yep.
A constant thing. And the orderly says, No, I'm sorry, miss. I have not seen your husband, as I have said, time and time and time again. And hands her the tea, and she kind of sips it, and she kind of goes on to try to like describe him and kind of just do the same thing that she's told you and everything. And
I would go up and I would interject into that conversation, a little bit, and I'll just say, all right, Lady Tatiana, I know you don't remember me. My name is Vodder, and I haven't seen your husband, but I'm going to go and look for him, okay? Yeah.
Will you tell him I'm looking for him? I need him to come help me, take me from this place.
I'll do my best.
Okay.
We were going
and-
for a walk. I remember.
Oh, I didn't remember that.
On the
Where were you
mountainside.
walking?
The mountainside.
Mountainside. That's nice.
Outside of the village.
Oh, okay. Well, if I come across a mountain, I'll look for him there.
All right.
Oh,
Thank
and-
you.
And here,
And he's going to reach into his bag and he's going to pull out. Oh gosh, what do I have to give to her? He's going to just reach in and grab like something small, like a little, like maybe one of his candles,
Mhm.
you know. And he says,
here, you hold on to this for me until I come back, okay?
She, with a shaking hand, takes it and kind of looks at it.
What is it?
It's a candle.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. How foolish of me.
No, it's fine. It just to remind you that when things are dark, that even just a little bit of light can make things change for the better. Just like Valoon says.
She nods. She just kind of, as you're talking, just nods, but you can kind of see her eyes kind
Yeah,
of gloss over.
he's fine with that.
Okay, bye-bye.
He turns and leaves.
You see, Calder kind of is struggling to get ready. He's usually the last to be ready to go, and you see him close the book that he's reading and kind of put it under his hand and grab his pack. And but I wait for me, and he kind of hurry and tries to catch up with you. I just want to, I just finished the book.
Yeah.
But do you want to see something interesting?
Oh yeah, of course.
So he gets all excited that someone's actually paying attention. And he opens the book and he shows you like some of the pages, and it's in a script that you can't understand or read.
Okay.
And then he's like, well, see, it's all deep speech, which is very interesting. But look what happens if you turn it upside down and open it from the back. And he does so, and it's almost like a different language. And you see it's written, what languages do you understand?
Vader speaks Common, obviously Draconic, Giant, and Goblin.
Okay, it's written in Draconic.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
And he's going to like flip it back, flip it forward. Like he's gonna like do that thing where it's like, you know, he's gonna try it one way, then the other way, and just play with it.
That's amazing. That's remarkable. What was the book about?
Alchemy.
Oh,
I've learned quite a bit actually. There's I was gonna see if I could ask you something. This book tells tale of an item or an artifact. It's said to contain all, if not many, of some of the most complex alchemical equations and things of that sort. You know, it talks about turning water into wine, you know, things into gold and that such. But there's an artifact that it talks about, and from what I can gather and from what I've read, I think it might be here in the city.
The artifact is?
Yes, I think maybe. I'm not sure.
What is it?
A tablet. Is known as the Emerald Tablet, from what I can gather. And I don't want to impede on our current quest, but I'm wondering if maybe at some point we could maybe.
I mean, sure. If you know where to start looking. I mean, it's not really up to me.
But hey, and he leans in really close to Calder and he says,
with this alchemy knowledge, do you think you could make like bullets? You know, for and he like
sort of like, at this point, I figured they're probably outside by now, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And he sort of does a head nod towards Kimura. He's like,
Because if you wanted to convince someone to go looking for it, that might sweeten the deal.
I mean, I might be able to convert certain things into certain metals that might be able to be fashioned into such things.
Oh,
Possibly, it might.
good.
I haven't been able to practice. I've just been reading,
Okay,
so
okay,
it's.
but Calder, I mean, if you want, if we're going to go looking for it, I'm sure that other people would want it to benefit our mission.
Right. Right.
Right. Just keep it in mind. But yeah, I think so.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Can I read this? Now that you're done?
Well, I'm not done. I've only read half of it.
Oh.
I have to read the draconic side of it.
Oh, it says different stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
But
Well, can I borrow it when you're finished?
Absolutely. I mean, it is. You gave it to me after all.
Well, yeah. Okay, I guess I can have it back. I don't know.
Right.
Possessions are meaningless.
I suppose, as he
Okay.
kind of like brings the book to his chest in like a
Mhm.
tenderly way.
and he, Potter just heads off towards the wagon.
Okay. And he just follows behind you.
Yeah. Scurries behind me.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I picture Calder going anywhere, he's scurrying.
He scurries and sidles, I'd say. Because he's tall. I mean, he's about like 6'1", 6'2", but he hunches over, and because he's got weird, strangely disproportionately long limbs and fingers and whatnot. But he hunches over, like he's got terrible posture.
Dad.
Bad. So yeah, and you guys make your way through.
Do we have a plan?
Yes.
And he's looking to everyone here. Just-
To the graveyard to the east, correct? To look for signs of Dr. Licht, and maybe find out how to find her laboratory.
Find the lady, find the lab.
Find
Real
the lady,
simple.
find the lab, and then we come back here and hopefully cure the plague.
Okay. Fair enough.
Nock looks around.
Where's Kimura?
Where is Kamar?
She's still back on the ledge, I believe. I left her there and walked after Vada. I'll like look up. Can I see her sitting where I was sitting?
Yes, exactly where you left her.
I'll just point.
So the sooner we leave, the faster we can get on back. I'll go
Yeah.
get her.
Nock takes his axe and like procures it onto the wagon and turns around, starts walking up the stairs fast. He's just making his way up the stairs back into the asylum to go get my lady.
Okay.
DM, do I arrive at her room, at her location?
Yeah, so she's up on the roof, so you have to climb, 4 flights of stairs to get up to the roof. But eventually, I'd say you do make it to the roof.
I get up to the top and I open up the door or from where I can see her.
You do know that we have to travel really goddamn far to get to where we need to get to, and you have me climbing up all these stairs.
You know, I think somebody with as booming a voice as you could have just called up.
They got sick people in here, fragile. And you want me to be shouting in this building? No, we have to go.
Just
and that guy looks sternly at her.
she rolls her eyes and she literally stands up and then kind of like salutes whilst falling backwards off the ledge of the roof.
Knock then screams, "You're gonna die!" He slams the door shut, fucking starts making his way back down.
And
Not
yeah, she just gracefully touches down and goes, "Has anybody seen Luck? Late as always, typical."
He was up there talking to you just now.
He was?
Yep. Oh.
You just hear the approaching of just heavy footsteps, growling and snarling as I just walk past, hoping there's like a few carriages in the way. I just like kind of shove them out of the way. As I'm walking down, Nock doesn't break eye contact with Kimura, and he just takes his big old like gray sausage and just like jabs you in the chest and says, "Stop wasting time." Again, he says,
I just imagine Nock at this point is like the Hulk from Endgame. So many stairs.
It really did not take me that long to ascend and descend from the roof, Nock. You are the one wasting time. Come, we should go.
Hooray. I love leaving. Let's go.
So as you guys, get situated up on the wagon, Roderick comes up to you and is holding like a cloth that's kind of folded over, and he says, "These are for you, as you requested. If you wear these, the Kyrogen will not give you any issues going forward." And he unfolds this cloth, and there are small pins, about yay big, that have like a crow etched into them, like a silver pin. This will give you any passage you should need for the market, at least as far as the Kyrogen are concerned. We have set you up with about 10 rations, which should get you there and back, about a week's worth of rations. You might be able to find more as you go on, but this is what we can spare for you.
It's very generous. Thank you.
And he puts the pin right onto his cloak.
Do you have any questions as to anything else that you need before your journey?
The graveyard is east of here, right?
2 days walking, you should be able to make it in about a day and a half with the horses and the wagon.
Anything we should be careful of in between?
Ruffians, potentially civilians, sickness as always.
Of course.
But hopefully nothing too dire.
I'm gonna lean over while this conversation is happening, and I overhear. I'm gonna lean over to Kimura and where Nock are, and just kind of like go, "Did we ever find the direction of the lureweed?"
I think that was a no, right?
Yeah, that was. I'm struggling to remember as a player for some reason because I'm having a brain lapse. But
I wrote down what it looked like, but I never wrote down a direction.
I am pretty sure there was swamps to the north.
Okay.
So you were told by that ethereal being back at the town of Hallow a direction where you could find some, but Sigismund never told you a location.
So we're still working
Yeah.
off the apparitions directions. Okay. Okay, so
Okay.
I'll answer in character, be like, we got nothing from Sigismund, but the apparition back at Hallow said swamps in the north.
And Sigismund says he would help us recover the weed if we can do this job for him, basically.
Okay. Understood. We'll keep an eye out. I remember what they said it looked like, just in case. No, kind of like, is it what type of wagon is it? Is it just like a covered wagon, or is it a passenger wagon?
It's
Buggy.
it's an uncovered wagon.
Okay.
There are seats for you guys to sit, but a lot of it is full with like boxes of rations and some basic like supplies for you guys. There are 2 seats in the front, so someone, people can sit. So one of you is going to have to take the reins, but there's room for 2 people up top, at the front rather. Again, as always, Knock might not be able to fit in said wagon, unfortunately.
I got the 6 on foot.
Okay.
Do either of you want to drive the animals? I'm okay with animals unless someone's better.
I'm not too good with animals, but I can do that. That would be fine.
Okay, well, we can trade.
Sure.
Sure.
And so Vadar's going to go up and take the driver's seat and take the reins.
Okay. Is anybody gonna join up with Vadar at the front?
I'll
or-
sit up at top with them then.
Yay!
I'll just climb on and
Road
get
trip.
comfortable.
Is that the only other?
I pull out the trail mix.
Would you say that's the best place for advantage? So basically, Kimura will try and take usually the best spot for looking around. If not, she will just every so often get an elevation point and then come back down and continue, which she's doing.
Yeah, I think that probably work best. I don't think. I mean, it doesn't give you that much more of a height advantage. Maybe like a foot, if that.
Okay,
just to
that's
sit up front. So.
Yeah, she doesn't like
You'd
being
probably be able to
inside.
see things.
She doesn't like being inside closed wagons. If she's in a wagon, as long as you can see the surroundings, that's fine.
Yeah, and it's uncovered, so you can see.
Oh, perfect.
360 degrees.
That's
so.
good then. Yeah.
Perfect. All right, and Roderick watches you as you get settled, and then he gives you kind of a final nod and says, well, good luck to all of you. I hope you are successful in your endeavor.
Thank you, Brother Roderick. Everyone say thank you to Brother Roderick.
Thank you, Brother Roderick.
Just Roderick.
Knock cuts a little eyes and says,
Yeah, thanks.
Good job.
What they said.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Knock slaps the back of the wagon to get the wagon moving. Not the horses, because he would kill the horses, so he slaps the wagon.
Just to make Knock feel better at that point, I'll sort of get the horses going.
To kill a horse with a slap.
Bah.
All right, and you guys begin your journey forward. I'm going to bring you over to La Map and Vadar, since you are directing the wagon,
Yes.
you are able to move the token if you like.
Yay.
So it's 2 days to the east is what you've been told. So just so you know,
Yeah.
you have to. There's not a straight with these hexes. You have to go either
We're
up or
hexing.
down and then back up. So
We're hexing. Does the road lean in one particular direction to the north?
So
or the
it
south?
looks like it's going down to the south.
Okay, so I'll go southeast.
Okay, perfect. So you guys travel for several hours. As far as your hunger, thirst, and whatnot, it should be at peckish, parched, and tired because you're staying at the Asylum, which isn't the greatest, lodging and whatnot.
Soup was
And-
pretty good.
The soup, apparently.
How's
According
the
to-
temperature?
We're not doing temperature at the moment, so you're good
Okay,
without
cool.
worrying about that one.
So,
72 degrees Fahrenheit.
So you say peckish, thirsty, and peckish, parched, and
Tired.
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 Mhm.
Okay, tired.
I am a little tired.
Okay, have your nap. Then fires the missiles. Sorry.
Thank you for
I had
picking
to
up the
finish-
slack.
I had to
Thank
finish
you.
the reference. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Continue.
The real heroes out here.
So you guys, like I said, continue on throughout the day. Pretty quiet. You're not seeing much except abandoned buildings. Some of the buildings, as you're closer to the Asylum, are more populated. You do see people milling about. You see Kyrogen. they look around, they see, Vodder's got the pin on and
Hi.
nod, and they, wave you on or whatnot. They don't give you any, any issue or anything like that.
What is the pin again? Is that the?
So it's a silver.
Club.
It's a silver.
Okay.
It's a silver pin with a like the skull of a crow etched into it. It's the sigil of the Kyrogen.
Okay. He's just like
Or Sigismund, who knows?
Princess Diana and like just waving everyone with the pin.
Yes.
Everyone bows their head.
Love it.
So what is everybody doing during the journey? You guys doing anything in particular, or
Steering some horses, man.
Knock.
True. Knock preps his head up.
And I wave him over to like walk alongside where I'm sitting on the.
Yeah, you see his stride gets longer and whatnot. Instead of a saunter, it's quickening up his pace as he's walking next to you.
He's small walking.
He's sitting eye to eye.
She points down to like all of his trinkets. Your trinkets. Can you tell me your favorite? Do you have one?
My favorite.
He looks down.
He says, "This one."
And he pulls up, and it's a long, long tooth.
He says, "This one was from a saber-toothed cat. They grow very large at the base of the mountain. This one was the biggest I've ever seen. On my descent, it was the first creature that met me in battle. It'll always be fond. My first wound. My first fight. Why do you ask?"
You just seemed upset when you had to give the other one away. I'm not fond of keeping things personally with me. I never have been. It's interesting. That's all.
I understand. The trophies are important to me. The reminders, memory, of battles that were hard fought. Battles I almost lost. A lesson. They're close to me. And I need them.
I see.
And Knock, as he says that, he's looking down at the belt and he's rubbing like the loose leather pieces that are attached to his belt that would usually hold trophies. And he looks back up.
But don't worry. There's plenty more where that came from. And the city is gonna give it to me.
I see. She just kind of smile, just ever so gently. Thank you for entertaining the question, for what it's worth.
He kind of has his chin up in the air when he was going back to that saunter, and he just nods in approval. As he slowly saunters his way back to the back of the circle, but he doesn't take his eyes off of Wisp. He just continues to look at the back of her head. Back of your head is ridiculous.
Oh my god.
Can I get your number?
Oh
Can I
my
have
god.
it?
Wisp, as you're kind of watching Nog as he kind of takes a step back behind the wagon, you notice, strangely, blue flames kind of cresting his shoulders and up around his, just kind of around his arms.
She wipes her eyes for a second and does a double take. Does she still see it?
Mm-hmm.
She elbow bumps Botter. Do you see it?
What?
You
The
see
horses?
No. Around Knock.
Do I
Does
see
he look
it? When I
different?
look at him?
Yeah, you do.
Oh. Yeah. That's neat. doesn't look like it's hurting him. Maybe it's his memories, like he said.
Maybe. I won't bother him.
We should name the horses.
Knock
Do
perks
you-
up.
Do you have a name in mind?
No, I'm just. I think that they would behave better for us if we could give them names like Rainbow.
Okay, so you're Rainbow. She like
You're
points to
Rainbow.
just the left horse that
Who does not
on there,
respond at all.
Yeah.
What should we name the other one? You pick it.
Cloud.
Oh yeah, I like that. Like two sides.
Am I overhearing? Can Gamora hear this going on?
Oh yeah,
Important question.
And these are strong draft horses, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Gamora
Name
pops
one
up.
Peanut.
Gamora pops up from the back, literally between the two of them, and like, Rainbow and Cloud. These are pleasure pony names. These are strong
Yeah.
draft horses. Give them strong draft names.
Do you have a name in mind?
Peanut and Pickle.
No,
Name it Kimura. That's a strong name. That'll do it.
What about Gun?
Jimmy.
What about
Gunn.
Kimura 2?
Rifle.
I mean, admittedly, these are strong things that you are naming. Yes.
Wait. What about Captain?
Yeah,
What about
Captain.
Kimura too?
I like it.
Done.
Stamp it. Stamp it.
You hear Calder? I really like those names too. Yeah.
Captain and Kimura leading us on our journey.
How
Could've
about
said it better myself.
we name them Fuck and You? She goes
That
back.
seems vulgar. I don't want to do that.
She goes back to sitting down.
We could name. We could.
And I like elbow bump him again, and I whisper to Vaughter, Rainbow and Cloud.
Rainbow and Cloud.
I just want to point out that Shmoo in chat says one should be named Bart, which is pretty funny.
Barton Trap. Barton Trap.
Knock is just shaking his
Bart.
head.
Barton Burt.
That's
in
good
the
old
smoke
Bart.
in his face.
That's Bart.
Rainbow and Cloud.
There's no Kyrogen with us at all, right?
No.
It's just us, right? While they're naming the horses, Knock is gonna, after shaking his head and having a little smirky, it's that face of inquisition on his face. He looks up and says,
There's been something that's been eating away at me. I'm not sure if you have all had the same thought come and plague your mind.
and he kind of looks to see if everyone, perks up from the horses, horse talk.
Yeah, like look back towards you.
A giant birdman on top of his enormous nest says that we have to go ahead and find this person because they created the virus that they are trying to fight. I was never too fond of stories growing up. But in the stories told around my fires, there's always two sides to it. What if we're out here doing a fool's errand? Find this scientist, shake her up, get her what we need to get her, bring her back to the Kyrogen.
Well, she's dead.
Oh, she's dead.
Yeah.
We believe in the Birdman, she's dead, but we're going to her laboratory.
So you're saying the Birdman is like using us?
What if he is?
Listen,
Have we stopped to think about the possibility? He's not wrong.
I don't go into a den knowing there's a dragon without objects to kill a dragon.
What is in the laboratory? What are we looking for? Are we just looking for a cure? What are we?
The stone.
Stone.
The warp stone that the doctor used to start the plague, I guess. Any other evidence that might be helpful? I guess. But
So
we have to
documents,
find the
papers.
laboratory first.
Well, maybe then, Knock, we can find proof.
Maybe there's papers, documents, things left behind.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm willing to at least try and go. But I think we need to be smart.
I'm not saying that we don't go. Obviously,
What
the
are you saying?
Kyrogen, I'm saying that it could be a possibility. I'm just
Sure.
curious to see if anyone else had the same thought process.
Maybe.
Kamara, how do you feel? What do you think?
I think we go in there, retrieve what we can, and make of it what we need to make of it. It's simple, really. Just collect the information, bring it back to Sigismund. That's all I reckon he is after. If he has killed this person before, then we're simply doing an errand. That's all it is.
In exchange for goodwill. And hopefully to end the plague. I mean, wouldn't it be nice to go through the city and not have to worry about turning into
Isn't
whatever that
Sigismund
thing
the
was? that
Kyrogen?
turned- Oh yeah, he's the Kyrogeniest
Kyrogen's-
Kyrogen of all.
Isn't the Kyrogen's job to stop people from being sick?
Yes.
If there's no people to stop from being sick, then they don't have a job.
Well, we talked about this. I think you were somewhere else.
I was probably sleeping.
It was me. I said once they are done trying to rid of the plague, they can focus on other things, like providing actual help to those who need health things.
Yeah,
Medical
other
attention.
sicknesses.
Or they can put their uses to other things, like helping find cures for other ailments. There is
At the very
no
at the
shortage
very
of
least,
issues.
at the very least, they can stop kidnapping children and taking
That
them away
would
to the
be-
asylum.
There's that.
Would be preferred as well. Sure.
Yeah,
Just-
agreed. I think anyone here doesn't want any more children to get kidnapped.
Either way,
Right, Calder?
I'm
We're all opposed to kidnapping children.
is right, and he's staring at
Oh my
Nock.
god! Oh my
no,
god!
he's very distracted because he's staring at Nock.
Oh yeah.
okay.
I don't Nock.
What?
You're
Nock is on fire.
you're on fire.
Yeah. I mean, you're doing really great lately.
I'm sorry, hearing Wisp's very calm reaction. Nock is on fire.
Not fire.
So I'm looking dead at Calder, and I hear like 3 people confirm that I am on fire, and I'm like,
I come from a place where the mountain winds would freeze anybody to a bone-chilling state. Touch a skin. I would know if I'm on fire.
As you look at your arms, there's this blue fire just kind of encapsulating like around your arm. This has never happened to you before.
DM, can I roll something that would either make me freak? Okay, we'll roll save to see if I like freak out or not freak out. Because it's like, if I see it, but I don't feel it. There's no pain, right?
I mean, now that you're paying attention, there's a little bit of a tingling sensation, but it doesn't hurt. But yeah, you can absolutely roll a wisdom saving throw to see if you freak out or not.
All right, let's see.
Take some of that stress mechanic.
A 9.
Oh my.
You're freaking out a little bit. You can probably keep it in, but you're freaking out a little bit.
So Nock's eyes like they widen out. As soon as it's like, I would know if I'm on fire. I'm on fire, and he you see me like so it's like shaking his hand, shaking his arms, and can I hear? Is the fire audible? Like, can I hear like the
yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, so it literally just sounds like a bunch of birds like in the back of the wagon now as I'm flailing my arms, being like,
What? Where the hell can I feel it? What the hell's going on?
Did I say
And then-
something that upset you?
I start walking over towards on the left side of the wagon over to where Blotter is. I'm like, is this magic? What is going on? Hold on.
As you grab on to Nock, some of the boxes and containers that are on the wagon also go and blast into like this blue flame.
Jesus Christ.
Get away from the wagon!
Nock like
Hold on,
looks in
hold on,
shock.
hold
He
on,
like
hold on. I think Yeah, I have a full water canteen. I'll just start emptying my water canteen on the box. Like I just like dive. I'll like
Put me out.
I'll kind of like push myself back through like the opening and kind of like do a backwards roll into it and take out my canteen and just start dumping my canteen on the wagon.
Okay. Yeah, so you start you start pouring water. Calder's like, oh god, oh god, oh god, just freaking out. Like he tumbles backwards off the wagon.
Help.
Yeah.
And I'm like just like pouring the water on and like looking around, and like if Calder's looking at me, I'm just like, help.
And he fumbles with his canteen, and it's like smaller, and he's like, it's like a little stream.
After her canteen's empty, she'll like take her scarf around from her neck and just like try to douse out the rest of the flames with the fabric. It's a pretty thick fabric.
Okay, perfect. Eventually you are able to get the flames out. It looked like there's some stuff has burned though.
Okay.
So when Nock reached out to touch me, did I feel the warmth? Like, was he?
You felt the
hot to
warmth,
the
but
touch?
it was warm to the touch. I wouldn't say it's
But it seemed to spread and destroy physical objects.
Right.
I mean, does this seem like some sort of like arcane fire? Do I have any sort of understanding of how this might happen?
You can either make an Arcana check or a medicine check.
Oh, okay. I would much rather do a medicine check.
And I will say, based off the fire, you did lose 1 ration.
Okay. Oh, I got a 12.
12? Something isn't sitting right with you.
This isn't natural fire, but something's wrong. Nock, have you eaten or did you drink anything different than usual? Have you
I've been eating and drinking the same slop you have for the past 3 days.
Okay. Do you have any? Did you get anything new and like attune to it with your spirit, or did you like lose anything important to you, or did you
Did I say something that offended you?
Did Wisp make you angry?
Nock is like looking back to like each one of them as they've asked their questions, and he's like,
I've done nothing different, and no, there's nothing you asked me that angered me either. I don't know what the hell this is. Why am I on fire?
Seem angry.
Was the hand that you gave away, was that blue? Was the fire or whatever you...
Does it have a fire connection?
Or maybe... What did you kill it from?
The hands came from a warlock. He was a weaver of hands that could call upon different weaponry. When I fought him, I cut off his hands, and the symbol to which he had for his summoning.
Maybe this is related.
I will say, Nock, as you are talking and kind of looking at this fire, you hear voices in your head. Voices that you can now understand.
oh, so this is deep speech that I can. This is deep speech that I can understand.
And you can understand this.
So Nock, as soon as he starts hearing the voices, like he preps up, but then his eyes kind of widen with this very questioned look on his face. What are the voices saying?
You can pick out a couple words. You hear, listen, listen, closer, closer. Things like that.
Listen.
Okay.
Closer.
Yes.
He says, "You
what?
You don't hear that?
No.
Don't. I heard you say, listen closer.
There's voices in my head that say, closer. I've heard these beforehand. The ones that were speaking before, they're saying, listen."
From the dream world. Are they the same voices that you heard in the dream world?
Sure.
Okay. All right. Everybody be very... Captain Kimura 2. Rainbow. Cloud. Everyone quiet down. Whoa. And you listen. Nock, listen really closely, as hard as you can.
Nock Knock kind of grabs like the sides of his head and tries to concentrate on the voices. As I concentrate, are the flames changing at all on my person?
No, I mean they settle down a bit, like they kind of disappear for a moment. But like I said, it's just this blue fire that seems to just kind of appear every so often, and as you kind of take a moment, you feel like you might be able to have some sort of control. You can cause the fire to erupt a little bit, or dissipate a little bit.
All right. First, I would like to try to listen in deeper to the voices. They're saying anything else beyond just listen and careful.
Okay. Go ahead and make a wisdom saving throw.
I love those things that I'm so bad at. Yeah, yeet. Oh.
There's
Yeah,
a
I'm not gonna-
yeah. So you kind of sit there and try to listen, and you hear a cacophony of voices.
Ooh, good word.
You hear the same words, listen closer, and then another voice, you will become, and then a whisper, one of us.
Knock kind of does like a 200-degree like kind of twist, like turn away from the group as soon as he kind of hears that, like the full sentence, and he stops. His hands drop to his sides. He turns like over his shoulder to look at the other ones and says, "The voices in my head say that I'm going to become one of them. One of us."
Who are they? What do they want?
I don't know.
This could be another corruption from the warp stone.
They said that this was going to get worse. The further we let this go on.
We have to get there and get that stone and get it back to the doctor. Maybe he can cure you. Sigismund.
Knock kind of walks over to maybe one of the houses on the street and like grabs his head from the voices that are so the cacophony of voices are getting they're still prominently there. Yes, they haven't come in and out. All right, so he kind of takes his hand and hits it on the wall, angrily.
Yes, they're in. There's so many of them. Closer. I'm going to become one of them. The voices. Beforehand, I couldn't understand them. And now, I can. The deep speech, the tongue. I'm going to become one of them.
Knock kind of like parks up and looks over to where its Calder is. It starts walking towards Calder.
What is happening?
How am how am I supposed to know? I don't know.
Knock reach how close is he in the wagon? Is he in the wagon?
Yeah, he's in the wagon.
I'm on fire still, ain't I? let me.
I mean, as you kind of reach out, like you can, if you want to dissipate the fire, you can.
I'm just going to reach in, dissipate the fire around my arms, and grab him by his shoulders, and I want to pull him out of the wagon, and put him lift him up, and as I'm talking to him, I want the flames itself to grow, and I'm gonna say to him, be like,
"You understand these damn demons inside of my head, and now they're speaking to me."
I might be able to understand them, but I don't hear them. I don't know what they're saying to you.
Knock, this isn't Calder's fault.
Sorry, Kimura's going to lean over to Wisdom and just say, have you ever subdued a Goliath before?
No, but there's a first time for everything, I suppose.
Yeah, just stay on guard.
So he still has him up in the air, and I just talk to him. He's just shouting over and over again.
I'm going to turn into one of them. I'm going to turn into one of them. I don't understand any of this. I didn't come to this goddamn city.
Knock.
Just to become a monster.
I didn't. Okay, Knock, you need to breathe. All right. I don't have magic to calm you down, but you need to get control of yourself. Wisp, you know about like discipline, right? And like controlling yourself.
Yes, many of those things incorporate standing still and breathing, yes.
Yes, breathe. And remember what I said about listening. Stop listening to the voices.
She's going to, like, beyond the flame. She's going to get down from the wagon and, like, kind of run back to where he's standing. And if she has to, she'll climb on partial parts of the wagon, but she's going to put both of her thumbs and kind of, like, jam them into the pressure points behind the ears and try to get his body to kind of like relax and just get him to kind of like his whole like muscle tension. She's just looking for it to relax.
Okay.
If I have
Yeah.
to roll an attack, I will.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll a melee attack, I suppose.
Okay. Unarmed strike. It's an 18.
What's your AC, Knock?
Blah, blah, blah. 1 second there, friendo. That'd be a 13.
13. Okay, so yeah, you do it. You're able to get the pressure points. Are you doing like a stunning strike?
I'm not trying.
Or...
No. Like I'm not trying to like stun him. I'm trying to literally use like acupuncture and pressure points to relieve the tension in his muscles so that he can let go of Calder and kind of let his body relax so that he can catch his breath and calm down.
Okay. Yeah, for the sake of that roll, I'd say, Knock, all of a sudden you feel like these pressure points hit and you do like let go of.
And while I push them, I'm just gonna say breathe.
You're fine.
Doc
It's gonna be
releases
fine.
Calder, and as he was like talking to Calder, he starts saying,
"Yeah, I'm gonna eventually become one of them, and if I do," and those things you hit him in the back, and he's like, "I'll have
And I'll like kind of like help him down onto the ground because he's probably gonna sit with all of his muscles like super relaxed at the moment. So like if he stumbles at all, I'll just kind of like help him and then release. And then I'll move to like stand in front of him and like squat in front of him and like make him look me in the eyes. And I like want to put my hand on top of his head and like hold it steady because he's, you know, if he's like bobbing.
This is not anyone's fault. Do not put the blame on anyone. We will figure it out. You need to remain calm.
Knock
Please.
is rocking in your hands. He's kind of rocking back and forth. He listening to you. See that you're speaking to him. He's hearing everything you're saying, and he says, and he's just on and on, but he keeps on repeating
What are
that
you
same
speaking?
thing. Just nonsense. It's just like
Oh, it's just
like
nonsense?
an amalgamation of like 1,000 languages coming together. It just sounds like nothing. But like you see like his eyes are wide open. They are focused. They are focused on you. There's a strain to them. There's a visceral look of struggle. Not only
Do
on his
I
face, but in his
recognize
head.
anything that he might be going through internally, like mentally, internally? Would I recognize this as anything that I could potentially know since I'm this close to his face right now?
Yeah, make an intelligence check, I'd say.
Straight intelligence?
Mm-hmm.
It's an 11.
He just sounds crazy. That's all you can kind of.
I'm just gonna like hold his head and just still sit there, like squat in front of him and just like look over to like Vodder.
Mora, Vader, what is this? What do we do?
I think he's just panicking. Here, can we get him onto the cart?
I am very much on fire. Like those flames are as
Yeah,
big as
I'm
I was
reaching
talking
through
to
it. So if
Calder.
it's
Never
burning
mind.
me, let me know. But I'm not like letting go of him until I know that he seems to be like able to hold himself.
So you notice that the flame around your hands, and whatnot, that's mostly receding from my head. It's mostly like upper shoulders, on my arms. Their fires are big, but they're slowly starting to raise back down as they dissipate around the certain parts of my head that you get ready to touch. And eventually, it's to the point where he's just bobbing up and down, repeating the same babbling nonsense.
Okay, all right. he's
So-
he's winding down.
It's like heavy breathing after that, and he's just looking around. That same in Nock's brain, that same message is playing back and forth. And the one thing on the inner side that Nock is thinking is that ever since coming to the city, he's felt like he's had to battle different parts of himself that he never knew about, as is foreign. So there's almost this like, as much as that is that strain on his face, it's almost a latent like little sense of fear on his face as well.
I want to grab him once again very gently by like the nape of the neck, like this area, and hold him still and have him like look at me again and just say, there are things no one is prepared for. You have to rein it in. You are strong on the outside. Now you must be strong on the inside. You have to be. You have to be.
Nock still, eyes strained, stares at you. He starts to get some motion of his breathing back. It's just have to almost feel like they just have to sync with each other to yourself. And the flames slowly get to a point where they are dissipating inside of himself. But they still repeating the same words. The same thing over and over again. He's every time he looks down at himself, looks down, looks back up. And it's almost like a back and forth struggle now. The flames keep on coming and leaving, coming and leaving, coming and leaving.
I'm going to massage the temples on the back of his neck, the ones that I pushed originally. I'm just going to massage those while I'm still like kind of holding him and just see if it can get him to calm down even more, to see if there's absolutely anything I can do in this moment, because I don't want to like let go of him.
Right. After a few minutes, Nock, you do kind of regain your composure. The voices are muffled somewhat, and you can begin to speak coherently again.
All right. So Nock, as he gets back from the babbling, he eventually starts getting back to his regular speech, and the things he was saying over and over again was that I'm going to become one of them. I'm going to become one of them. I cannot become one of them. I cannot become one of them. I
Nock,
won't.
Nock,
I
you
won't.
won't.
I won't.
Nock, you are Nock. You're the only Nock I've ever met. And you're the only one of you that there is. You're stronger than voices and brain lies and things inside your head.
I've moved
Knock.
back at this point just to give him space.
He stumbles up from his from where he was sitting and grabs onto kind of like both of what would be Vader's faces.
Oh, both my faces.
Like thumb on his cheeks of his first
Yep.
face and fingers on the back.
Right.
And then he leans him really close to him and says, like heavy breathing, like he's panting. You see that he's not like he has been fighting even 3 minutes have only gone by and he's been fighting the hell out of this. He says, Are we strong enough?
Yeah. Of course. Together. I mean, you saw what Wisp did. The strength she has, and you've seen what Gamora can do. You even called her. I mean, on our own, we're kind of strong. This is silly, but together we're a bunch stronger. Like, look, and he points at the horses. And he says that one horse on its own can only pull so much, but 2 horses can pull a lot.
Nock gets like visually angry and says, "I don't give a damn about the horses."
No,
And he shoots one. He throws his hand out like this,
right
and
now.
fire from his shoulder like ignites and then just like travels down his arm and shoots out of his fingers towards like one of like the houses over here on like the left. So just like fire just shoots out, and he like looks at his hand, just as in shock.
It's a metaphor. It's an allegory. we're strong together. I'm gonna go back and we gotta get going.
He climbs back up
Is-
onto the wagon.
Nox just kind of shakes his head, nods, and agrees.
Yes. Yes, we do.
As I turn to go walk to the back of the wagon, I want to walk past Wisp. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna look at her.
Thank you.
Turns around and walk away from her.
As you get back up onto the wagon, Water, ahead of you down the street, maybe 30, 40 feet, you see a figure. He calls out, "Seems like you could use some help." And as you kind of get a good glimpse of this figure, we're going to take a break. It's good bait. It's got bait. Oh, yeah.
Got you baited.
A new fighter has approached.
A new fighter.
Fighter enters the arena.
Yeah, play that trailer right now.
Oh, my
Looks like you could need some help.
Bing! Giant hammer on his back. I can just see it. It's like every random encounter that you get in the RPG to get that new quest guy. You're like, yes. Yeah,
Yep,
already, man.
yep. But thank you, everybody who's hung out so far. Kurt, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. That's super generous of you. Thank you so much. We will be back in about 7 to 10 minutes. Get a drink, grab a snack, use the restroom, and we will see what happens next in a few minutes. Thank you, guys. Welcome back, everybody. Oh my goodness. I'm usually the one to not try to break people before I go live because I have to talk first. But my bad. My bad. So yes, getting back into the action. Vodder and the rest of the party, what you guys can see ahead of you. Vodder, you see a bugbear. Wearing some sort of like kind of ragged hide armor, and he's got this big kind of club with spikes at the end, like a morning star, a wooden morning star on his back, and just kind of holding it there. On the rooftops, you see 2 hobgoblins with heavy crossbows, and next to this bugbear that is being held by the bugbear by a chain is some sort of hound with molten, like, black fur, but in it's kind of growling at you, and its maw's open, and you can see almost like a flame, like this glow coming from inside its chest. The bugbear kind of calls out to you. Like I said, he's about 40 feet away and says, "You guys doing all right? You seem to be having some trouble."
Do they look primed?
Make a perception check.
Oh boy. Here I go percepting again. Percepting? Perceiving.
Precipitating.
Precipitation.
Precipitating.
Here we go, percepting again.
Ooh, spicy!
So you do see the 2 hobgoblins that are on the roof. They're not pointed at you, but they are armed and knocked.
Okay, so
No pun intended.
haha. But right, so Kimura, who is actually 25 feet in the air at the moment, floating. This all happened whilst Nock was going a bit mental. The rifle that was pointed at Nock during his freak out, very quickly swivels round to point in that direction.
You do see another hobgoblin. You're kind of at like an intersection, and off to your right down the intersection, from your vantage point, you can see another hobgoblin kind of keeping his back against the wall, out of the sight of the rest.
I think before we go any further, Vodder's going to lean over to Wisp, assuming that Wisp is back on the board with him up front. He's like,
Yep.
This smells like a shakedown or an ambush.
Yeah, I don't get a good feeling about this one.
Did you
sort of raise my hand.
Did you say I spot one that's kind of hidden?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah, he's
so-
in from view from the others.
Where was that location relative to our convoy?
So it's he's a little bit closer to the bugbear. So the bugbear is almost standing in the middle of the intersection, just a few feet back. The other hobgoblin is up and to the right around the corner.
So there's 4 of them total from what Kimura sees.
There are 4, and
Plus a
then
doggy.
the doggy.
Okay, so is anyone from our party looking at Kimura at the moment?
I
I
would
am.
definitely look up at Kimura.
Yeah.
When
When you look up-
I know Nock wouldn't.
I ain't paying attention to that bird. Yeah, I am, man.
Bird lady.
Okay, in the wise words of
Alright.
Bobby Johnson, you fucking should be. And basically with the rifle up like this, basically I don't know. I mean, it's only 25 feet up. She basically underneath does this. From that angle you can't see it properly. It's this, okay? It's this. She's doing this down to where Whispers, from what she can see.
A 4. Okay.
Okay.
The bugbear does follow the gaze of like Vodder and Wisp and look up as well. He does see you because you're not really hiding.
Vodder speaks up and says,
Hi. No problem. It's just passing through.
I see. Well, you're passing through our neck of the woods.
Okay, well, we'll be
that's
gone
not
soon.
And define Nick.
Do you have a sign? We didn't pass a sign.
Yeah, you gotta mark your territory.
Oh, you didn't see it? Well, that's unfortunate. Maybe you would have taken a little bit of a detour. We don't want to hurt you, but you seem to have some supplies, you see, and well, it's a little stretched thin around this area. And Kyrogen came through and took nearly everything for themselves and their patients over near the asylum and the market. So, we can make this easy. We just need half of what you got. And we'll let you go on your way. No harm
Nock is-
done.
Nock's making his way up to like the front of like the carriage to be a little bit more visible towards the
so intimidating just to imagine
Jellin.
Knock. It's like boom.
But as I'm walking, the flames that have been on my back, I want them to increase in size. I want them to like every step is just another like growth of flame around the back of Nox. You know it, I'm a phoenix, bitch. But like it's so I start moving, and Nock wants to shout.
Your neck of the woods. Our supplies. You see, supplies are for our guys. You said that Kyrodon stole everything from you.
That is correct.
Why would they steal? Why would they steal from good folk like yourself who were just asking for supplies?
Well, I wish I had the answer to that question, but I can't speak for the bastards myself. Maybe they thought that someone needed it more than us poor souls that are starving in our neck of the woods. Who knows?
Neck of the woods.
I'm gonna like lean over to Vodder and under my breath say,
Maybe if they left their neck of the woods, they'd get more goddamn supplies.
Telling me.
Knock. It says, "Now you just said you don't want no trouble, and to be honest, fella, we don't want much of it either. If we're going where we all be living, there's plenty of that around the corner. Pretty sure you're gonna find plenty of wagons to go ahead and get your supplies from, but I think your neck of the woods."
I think, no, you're the first, at least, worthwhile people we've seen in days. People don't come around here much. They don't like going in the direction that you was heading.
Yeah, I wonder why not.
Knox gets in a staring contest with this man.
With the bugbear, okay.
The
He's the
more
same.
gloomy
He's
soundtrack kicks in.
the same race as Vaughter is, by the way.
Oh yeah.
How far is
Oh,
he
yeah.
from us again? Well, Nock's gone over to him.
I haven't walked over to him. I just walked over to the carrot. Just to make that
Yeah,
very
he's,
clear.
Okay.
he's about 45 feet away.
So if we, I don't work in feet. Despite the fact that every system I've ever played in uses feet, but I still can't figure out in my mind how far 45 feet is. I'm like,
What is that in meters?
is that shouting?
45
Is that like
feet
shouting
means-
distance?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you'd have to shout, but you couldn't talk and hear that.
Yeah, and plenty close enough for any ranged attacks or spells or anything like that. Technically speaking.
Technically,
Just so you know.
technically speaking, yes. Okay. No, that's good to know. Sorry, I was just trying to figure that out in my head. I couldn't calculate it, but yeah, okay, that's fine. I'm still keeping an eye on the ranged ones. Do they look like they've shifted? Like their ready position? Has any of them moved? Is the one that's kind of hidden away? Is he?
The one that is hidden hasn't moved. The other two are kind of sizing you guys up, but they haven't made any aggressive moves towards you.
Okay.
What's your name?
Zordar.
Zora.
Zordar.
Zordar, that's a good name.
And
Clan
you?
are- what clan are you from?
None of fucking doesn't matter. Not
Oh,
anymore.
Yeah, I know that clan. You can have half of my rations.
How many you
Knock,
got?
Knock, Knock turns to
five.
Vaughter.
People need to eat. You can have it, but I can't speak for my friends. We need these supplies to carry out our mission.
So you're disarming us, Vaughter. You're giving our supplies. That's less mouths.
I'm giving him my supplies.
See, this bugbear knows good charity.
Well, I'm guessing my friends won't want to share, so you'll have to be happy with mine.
Give me a persuasion check
Oh, this
with
is gonna be garbage.
advantage.
Oh, advantage.
Avantage.
18. with advantage.
18.
It's a 19 on the die for 18.
Well, we don't want any trouble.
No.
We'll take the rations that you've given us. That is very mighty kind of you.
And I grab, like, I don't know how many, like one box. You know
Yeah,
what I
like a
mean? Or
box.
5 shares of rations or whatever. And I'm going to take it and I'm going to walk it over there on foot.
Okay.
And never breaking eye contact with this other bugbear, who I'm guessing is larger than me. I'm small for a bugbear.
He's probably 7.5 feet tall. Like he's quite big
He's
and
getting up
quite
there.
bulky. Yeah, and he kind of nods to over the side, and a hobgoblin from around the corner comes and takes the
Mhm.
the box.
He says, thank you, friend. What was your name again?
Vodder.
Vaughter. I thank you. You're very kind. Like I said, not really well found around these parts. If I'm not overstepping, you wouldn't mind, ridden one of your horses now, would you? He kind of yanks the chain where this hound is. We can't find anything for this fucking thing to eat. Came across it and up to the north of the market. Decided might you be good for protection or such, but if it's got an appetite, we haven't been able to find anything that it'll eat.
Do I know what this is?
You can make a nature check.
Okay.
That's a 4.
Or
Big ol' whopping. It's a big puppy.
It's a big dog with fire in its mouth.
It's a
Fire dog.
really strange cat.
That's a weird ass cat.
Something's
look
wrong
at it,
with this
yeah,
guy.
I try to look at it. And I just kind of like shake it off. I'm like,
And it's kind of like just it's baring its teeth at everybody, like,
Smiling.
and it doesn't even seem to be like happy to. It's like baring its teeth at the bugbear too, and he has to like yank the chain and kind of reprimand it.
Sure. And then as he does that, Vadra's going to look at it and he's going to say,
He looks hungry. Well, seem to have trouble controlling him.
and Vadra's going to lean in really closely, and he's going to say,
I'm sorry, I can only give you what's mine. I can't compromise what we're here to do. We'll be coming back this way in a few days. And if you know what's good for you, you won't stop us again.
Make an intimidation check.
Vada making a threat? Holy shit! Do you know what the scariest part of that is? Juxtaposition.
"Oh, that's a 16."
Damn. What's the scariest thing about that? I want to hear.
The
I think
the juxtaposition.
Scariest-
or sorry. So Ilo said something. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that's what makes it scarier is that Vada doesn't do that.
And I think
Yeah.
that, I mean, the reflection of that in terms of this guy who's never met him before is that Vadr doesn't break eye contact, and he's very friendly, and his tone continues to be friendly, almost as if it's charitable, to say,
Right.
I care about you, so don't fuck with us.
Right. And he
That was
kind
some
of.
Hollywood shit, by the way. That was amazing. What a great
Yes.
deliberate line.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, with a 16, he kind of nods. He says,
Understood. Well, thank you anyway, and we hate to delay your journey any further. We will be on our way. We have a nice meal to take part
Please.
in. Thank you.
Enjoy, cousin. There is some
Trail mix in there. He turns around and walks back to the cart.
as you're walking away, he kind of, some what?
trail, just small rations.
Oh, right. Well, all right. And he kind of waves his hand, and you see the two hobgoblins come up on the roof, let their guard down, and disappear from behind where it probably looks like they're getting down from the roof.
Okay. Kimura's going to stay up in the air until we're off a good distance from these individuals.
Okay.
And as I get back to the cart and anyone I have a chance to speak with, I just sort of assure them individually, like, I don't think they're going to bother us. Again. Maybe.
Maybe not.
I didn't like that dog thing.
Can any of the rest of us make a roll, or are we just limiting that to...
You can all roll an. If anybody's interested to find out what it is, you can roll a nature check.
Hell yeah.
I will do that. I'm a nature man.
Nope.
I
don't know.
have-
I don't know either.
I have really bad nature. Yeah, I rolled worse than Wisp.
A 6
Those
and a
fire
3.
puppies were scary.
18. Knock. You've
but better
heard.
than that.
You maybe have seen one of these. You don't see them often, if at all.
What?
But this is a hellhound.
Oh.
That was a jacked up squirrel.
This
Real
one big
jacked.
squirrel.
Gee damn, look at the size
Sorry.
of that squirrel.
If Knock mentions that, I'm going to go looking through that book I found, the one that's Vo Something's Guide to Something Something Something.
Okay.
Looking for information on those doggies.
Okay.
Here, Wisp, you take the reins for a bit. I want to look for something.
so take him over.
Knock, as they get ready to, as rain snap and we get moving, Knock is gonna walk beside the wagon, and he's gonna say,
We need to be careful of that man.
It looks deep over his shoulder.
Anybody that ever shares the company of a hellhound has contracts to things that I don't like to go ahead and delve deep into.
You kind of look through the book, Vauder, and you're not seeing anything as far as that creature in the book, unfortunately.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Do I find anything else that's fun in there?
Are you looking for something?
What if I meet a random entry in Volo's Guide to Monsters?
There's like a chapter that's strictly a
You
coloring
sure
book.
can if you want.
Holy crap, there's stuff about bugbears.
Yeah, you do.
Actually,
yeah.
he would actually think that. And I don't want to like talk about bugbears, but like he would turn to Nock and he would say,
Have you ever met, besides me and Zordar, have you ever met bugbears before?
Few on my travels, I've fought with one side by side on a contract. But other than this, no, I have not met too many bugbears.
The ones you met, were they like that?
Not really. I mean, rough.
Yeah.
Condition, yes. But I've never seen one that looked like him.
Interesting. I hope we meet some more. Maybe some nice ones.
You're right.
goes back to his book, just paging through the guide.
Okay. So make sure you mark off your 5 rations that you lost.
Will do.
Whoever lost the other one, too, you can mark off 1 from someone. And then meta, no meta. Yes, anything in Volo's Guide to Monsters, you do find in that book that you have. I think we might have lost Justin.
I'm back.
Oh, no, you're
I'm
here.
back.
Oh,
Okay.
hello.
What did I miss?
What the?
I
His
just
face never
said,
changed.
yeah, I just said mark your 5 rations off, and then any find you find in Volo's Guide, meta or no meta, you find in this book.
Cool.
And you guys are able to continue on your journey. You do probably rest a few hours later, so you can mark off a ration that you eat, and if there's anything you guys want to do that evening as you rest, anything like that, you can.
I'm going to fast for tonight. I'm going to go without eating a ration.
Okay. So yeah, just mark that on your character sheet that your hunger goes down or stays, because you should have marked 1 thirst, 1 hunger, and
I would
you're
stay there
tired.
because
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm also gonna stay there and fast because I don't have too many left.
Okay.
And then while we kind of like bed down, I take out my writing set, my inks, and I set it up, and I start writing in my 4 languages in 4 colors.
Pick up.
Hellhound
That's Boba.
What's Boba?
as
Sorry.
Boba. I start writing, Hellhound, approximately this tall, this long, colors, aggravated. Like, just start writing kind of like an entry about what I saw.
Okay.
Because that was entirely new.
Perfect. Okay. So yeah, for Vauder and Wisp, you should be at hungry, parched, tired, and everybody should be at peckish, parched, tired.
Got it.
So, and so yeah, you go making notes and drawings in your book and whatnot. Calder goes about and is reading his book still. But,
Is there any like water around us, like spraying a little brook, anything like that?
make a survival check.
Okay. It's a 5.
There's no brooks that you're seeing. No, you find a well, but it's completely dried up.
Okay, then I just go back to what I was doing.
Okay. And you guys continue on. Are you guys taking anything else you want to do, or watches, anything like that?
Knock mostly is kind of have himself when he's sleeping. He's just kind of flopping back and forth, very restless like sleep, but wakes up early enough in the morning just to be able to put back on his leather armors and whatnot and spend some time. Again, same thing he was kind of doing when he was getting up, so finagling with his belt and whatnot, and just waiting for everybody else to go ahead and wake the hell on up.
Hey, man, wake up.
While everybody's kind of like resting, I'd like to go and sit next to Calder.
Okay. Yeah, he's just flipping through this book. As you look at it, he's reading it upside down, from the back of the book forward. So it's kind of weird, but you can see, like, as you're walking up, you can see like the scribblings of whatever title it has, which in a language you can't understand. But you've watched him read this book, and he's read it front to back, and now it's upside down. And he's reading it back to front.
Okay.
Julier, do you have a moment, Calder?
Oh, yeah, sure thing, yeah.
Like, just kind of sit cross-legged on the ground in front of him.
What happened today? Have you ever seen something like that? Do you know what arcane produces such a flame to come from someone?
Well, I'm not quite sure. I mean, sometimes I've discovered that I obtain, as time goes on and whatnot, I gain new abilities and things like that. It's usually after I wake up from a sleep, I kind of just know certain things. But I've never seen fire or anything like that. I haven't seen anything like that before. No.
Nock mentioned that the hands he gave away were a warlock's hands. Do you think it could be a curse? Or do you think it's the dream world? I don't understand magic. I am sorry if these questions are loaded. I only have small amounts available, so I don't know.
Well, my experience with magic is quite limited as well. I mean, I suppose it could be some sort of curse, but usually with curses of items, as far as I'm concerned, you can't part with them. It's you're unable to, whether it's by some magical tether or something of your mind that you can't let go of. Usually it's sort of that thing, but if he's able to part with it, I don't know if parting with hands, and no matter if it's from a warlock or not, and these this fire, I don't know if is quite related.
You see, like, as he's telling her this, like, she's fiddling with her scarf. She's kind of just like pensively looking at like the space between his legs at the ground, and you can tell that like the wheels are turning in her head. Like she's kind of messed up about what she saw in like a way that, if Calder has ever been perceptive to her, that like it's just an error of vulnerability that she's just not shown before. She just kind of like haphazardly like looks up to him again and just says, okay,
I don't know if he has what it takes, if this is something inside of him.
Well, it is difficult hearing. Well, I'm not adverse to hearing things, not in my head while I'm awake, but in my sleep. And it it is a curse in its own way, I suppose.
Where does your magic come from?
Well, I'm not quite sure. Until recently, I think it comes from someone else. I think. As I said a few days ago, once you when you woke up from the dream, I was hearing a name in my head, Kedathen, if you remember. I think that might be the one who's, well, granting me my abilities. It seems, well, if I'm not quite sure, but I feel like I'm sort of on a path, and if I'm going on the correct path, I'm getting rewarded. I think. I'm not quite sure. I usually just wake up and I notice things different.
So it's different for everyone, in a way.
I suppose, yeah.
And she kind of like looks at her hands, and she kind of like, you hear her say something small and do a motion, and she'll minor illusion just like, I don't know, like a growing weed, and just kind of like dispel it really quickly, just kind of like mindlessly thinking about what she can do. And she'll dispel it away and just kind of look at him and nod and thank you.
Well, I don't think I was much help, but you're welcome.
And she just gets up and walks away.
And kind of nods his head and opens the book again and kind of starts flitting through the pages to find a spot.
She'll go back and sit down and start another passage right under the Hellhound, musing about magic and arcane and what she saw and what she did to help Knock. And when she finishes that in the last color, she closes it up, rolls up all of her papers again, and kind of looks around to see what the consensus of the group is doing.
Knock's ready. He's up and at him.
Okay.
Vader is awake, but instead of rising up early to do his prayers and things like that, he's just sort of lying there with his eyes open, looking up at the ceiling. Or not ceiling, but sky. I don't know where we are. But, he's awake.
Okay. Well, if there's nothing else anybody wants to do as far as the morning goes, you can set back off and continue your journey.
Adventure.
Back onto the map. Vauder, are you still taking the reins and everything, same order and whatnot?
Sure. And I'll just go.
All right, here we go. Giddy up, Rainbow, Captain.
And goes to the northeast.
Okay.
Red.
It's red.
Why is it
It's
red?
red.
End campaign. So
It's like Minesweeper. Just
Giddy up, Bart.
as you guys travel throughout the day, you're met with dark, clouded skies. No rain, just this kind of ever-present darkness. You follow the road. The roads are abandoned, empty. You see many white X's on doors as you get farther and farther away from the asylum. Yet again, something you're becoming familiar with. There's a silence in this area. You don't even hear crows. You begin to make a steady incline as the road kind of begins to go up. About midway through the day, it seems like it's late at night. It seems to be, the darkness is enough to make it kind of throws you off. You feel like you should be resting, but as you kind of guess, you've only been traveling for 4 to 5 hours. Cresting over this hill, you see kind of a dip and then a larger hill that kind of rises from that, and an expansive field, seemingly endless to your sight. You see a gigantic graveyard. And sitting in the center of this graveyard, you see a horrifically beautiful mausoleum that is quite large and expansive itself, with high cresting kind of Gothic architecture. And you just get this foreboding feeling as the silence almost feels physical as you begin making your way to what you assume is your destination, which Sigismund had told you about.
Can I look around to see if I just... I mean, it's creepy, yeah, but can I just look to see if I see anything? Like any sign of movement anywhere? If there's not even birds in the sky. Like she's kind of hyper-focused beyond the mausoleum.
Make a perception check.
It's a big ol' 7. I'm not rolling too great today. She can't do nothing.
The graveyard and this mausoleum just is in the forefront,
Cool.
blocking anything past it. It looks like it goes downhill again, so maybe your line of sight is being cut off. But yeah,
Okay.
you still see no movement.
What are you looking
anything.
for?
Anything.
Oh,
Anything at all.
there's a
Too quiet.
mausoleum.
It's too quiet. There's no birds. There's nothing running around, no bugs. Nothing. I don't
Can
like
Knock
it.
make a smell check?
Yeah, you can make a perception check.
Yes, I would like to
Based off
smell if there's
smell.
any rotting corpses that don't feel like they're underground. It's like fresh out in the open air rot, like anything of that smell. Come on, nose. Come on. I can just find what the fuck perception is.
The anticipation.
You have to roll a perception check to find your perception.
21. Knock with the super sniffer.
Super
smell
snoot. Super snoot.
You don't smell any rotting flesh. What you smell is just stale, undisturbed air. Which is something you smell, like it seems to be present in this in the market, but it's almost just increased tenfold here.
So wait, it was in the market when that like big monster turned into that shit? Like we're talking about that type of scent?
No, not quite. Just stale air. Just it's like
Gotcha.
no living thing or even any moving living creature has passed through this area for some time.
Kimura's gonna get up from the cart and stand up. Just again, she's pretty much permanent state of weapons ready. It's ridiculous. She's paranoid as fuck. And she goes, usually a lack of anything denotes that something is very, very wrong with this area. Wildlife inhabits pretty much everywhere, even urban environments that are untouched for a long time. If there is nothing natural here, no crows, no animals, we should be concerned.
You're saying that if there's nothing natural, that there's something unnatural.
If a prey type animal, like a rabbit or a deer, is roaming freely in the woods, you can almost guarantee there are no apex predators around. But when they're not, when it is quiet, that is when your apex strikes.
We should find a place to put the cart, and approach on foot.
I will do air recon. Make sure that you fan out. If you form a perimeter, do not go too far. And she floats up.
Park the cart somewhere. Ditch the horses.
Okay. How close to the area are you bringing the cart?
Oh, like 300 feet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah,
I'm
I want.
ripping it.
Yeah.
Sounds
I'm
a
worried
little
about. I'm
confused.
worried about the well-being of Rainbow and Cloud.
Right.
Bart. And
Captain and Kimura.
Captain
Two.
Kimura's fine. She's in the air.
They're horses.
I'll get off the cart I'm sitting on the right side of the cart, so I'll get off the cart once it's hitched and kind of make my way around, just like straight off. Like I don't want to get forward, I don't want to get backward. I literally just want to walk a straight line out from where the cart is to the right and kind of just create some distance and get a lay of the land, like where Kimura is, where everybody else is.
I'm
But
gonna
I'm
do
gonna
the
walk
same
away
thing
from
in
the
the
cart.
opposite direction.
So he's going to the
We are
left,
gonna
I'm going to the
perimeter
right.
a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys are kind of spreading out. Okay. Everybody go ahead and as you guys are walking around and kind of giving it a scope out, everybody give me a perception check.
Precept the shit out of it.
Oh
gosh,
boy,
it
here
rolls
I
our
go.
garbage.
Percepting.
I saw some
I rolled a
grass.
4. I don't think I've rolled above a 10 all day.
Goodness.
That's bad hit. Been there, done that way, Ray.
It's
Been
been
there,
bad.
done that.
I have a plus
The
6
dice
in my
got dramatic,
perception.
took too much time off.
Roll 20, I tell you.
That is a 19.
Troll me.
Let's, you know what?
Okay.
Let's switch into physical dice.
Fair enough. So Vada got a 12, Wisp got a 4, Knock got a 4, and then Kimura got a 19. Vada, Wisp, and Knock, you guys aren't seeing much. There's nothing. You see, gravestones and things like that, but nothing that looks super freshly dug or anything like that. Kimura, you're kind of paying attention to the mausoleum itself, and you circle around towards the front, where you can see a little bit of a path that cuts through the cemetery itself and leads up to these grandiose metal doors. While you're kind of watching, you notice one of the doors is ajar, and you see a pale hand holding onto the door, like just the hand reaching on the outside. And you see a sliver of a pale white face. And then slowly, these long hands disappear and the door closes.
Yep.
We have movement.
We're not trick-or-treating into this house.
Which way would you say? Just like directly ahead.
You're directly ahead. The others have kind of made a. You guys are pretty far apart because you guys are kind of scoping the area out.
Okay. Are they still
We're
within? Are they still within
triangulating.
shouting distance?
I wouldn't have gone outside of.
Okay. Yeah, I'd say I would
100
unless
feet or something.
Okay.
I'd say you're within shouting distance.
Okay, so it's going to be like wherever my rifle is pointed is basically the direction that I'm gesturing to. It's like we have movement directly ahead of my position. I do kind of double, like the rifle's pointed that way. I do take one hand off and just point down that direction towards the structure, basically.
I look in that direction. I'll take out my staff. I'll kind of like kick it on my heel real quick, and you see it kind of just like shimmer for a moment. It gets like dark and kind of wispy, and then just kind of
On brand.
As we sort of converge back towards that center path, Vada's like,
If there are any things in there that should be dead but aren't dead, just stay close to me, okay?
Knock walks up behind Vada.
I'll stay right behind you.
Thanks, Daddy Knock.
Is this a large open area?
Relatively. So most of the cemetery is encapsulated by like wrought iron fencing, so you can see through it and whatnot. But it's decently tall, and it comes to like pointed, spiked ends. But there is a gate that is left ajar at the at the front where you can walk up, and there's a very worn dirt path that leads towards the mausoleum.
Okay, so but can people spread out?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Basically, I'm going to theorize here. If somebody was to fireball this location, would there be enough space for everyone to spread out?
What location are you trying to fireball?
No, I'm not trying. I'm just saying, is there enough room for people to
Oh.
spread out?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, there's plenty of space. It's a pretty. I mean, it's probably several, like, probably a like several hundred yards deep and like 100
Okay.
plus yards across. So there's plenty of room for you guys, even once you're inside the cemetery, to spread out very well.
Okay, so I'm gonna call down to see Nock right behind Voda, and just be like, Nock, not that close. When we get the opportunity, spread out.
Captain, my captain.
Whisper back, you stay as close as you want.
God. No.
Knock undoes his belt.
Whoa.
It's time, baby.
The tone just changed.
Yeah.
Charged.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna get closer in tandem with Kimura. I'm just gonna kind of try and circle as quietly as I can on that right side of the mausoleum.
I'm gonna move towards the door.
All right.
How far away is everybody from me at the moment?
I'm up ahead, so everyone else
Like
lead the way.
radius wise. Is it possible for everybody currently to be within 30 feet of me, or is everybody kind of moved past that? Is that how large it is?
Say that one more time. I'm sorry.
Is everybody within a 30-foot radius of me, or has everybody moved past that because it's a large area?
I think everybody's a little bit past that because they're trying to stay out of fireball distance.
What?
Okay.
Or it's only theoretically. They're just kind of gauging like, how large the area is.
Theoretically,
I
Okay.
would say that I'm about 25 feet above central position again, like I was earlier with the cart.
Okay, I think I'm still too far away from everybody, so I'm just going to proceed with caution as usual.
I'd like to move forward first. I'd like to move stealthily if I can, but before I do that, I reach around and I hold Nock's hand, and I cast Vigilant Blessing on him, giving him advantage on the next initiative roll he makes.
Okay. Sounds good. And Calder's just kind of like, where the fuck do I go? He's kind of like trying to stay close, but then like Kimura, calls out to Vaughter and Nock to stay like separated. So he kind of like separates himself, but he tries to like stay like behind Nock as is per usual. He tries to stay behind Nock to hide himself behind.
I see all of us like
massive
moving
door.
forward really carefully, and Calder in the back like in a serpentine panicked motion, just like running back and forth.
And if you have a high enough perception or passive perception, you might hear him go, "Fuck."
What would be the perception count for that?
Probably like a 14.
So I can witness him having a freak out, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. You can probably like. What's your passive perception?
15.
Oh yeah, you can hear him like talking to himself. He's like, I just wanted to read books. I don't know why I'm here. I just don't like this place. Fuck. I can't
Calder!
let them hear me.
Group with
Now
Nock.
looks up. You don't have to tell me twice.
I just want to get the visual that all three of the boys are huddled on one side of the building. I'm by myself all the way on the right side of the building. And then Kimura's floating above us, trying to give us all directions. I just need everyone to understand.
Like a tactical strike team.
Here's the thing.
No,
No, yeah, see, right.
Strike team.
Here's the
Know
thing,
your
right?
worth.
By modern standards, I'm the commander watching through a UAV. We've got the squad, and we've got the recon, right? Like this is how we're doing it. This is how we're doing it.
Okay, so then I'm gonna use when we get close to the door, as close as we can, I'd like to use a key point, and I will use patient defense.
Nice.
Okay.
I'll approach the door quietly and look to open it quietly as well.
Okay.
And I look up to Kimura for like guidance.
Okay.
I don't think she can do that spell. I can do it.
You reach for the door, and just as you're about goodness gracious words, you're about to grab the circular handle, and push or pull. You haven't determined it. the door swings open before you, like just as you're about to grab it, and it opens up into darkness. You can't see a thing. Well, guys, you have dark. You have dark. You have dark vision.
I have the darkest of dark vision.
You have the darkest of dark vision. You see a grandiose, albeit like dark and gothic, foyer, with it looks like this room has kind of like a walkway around the edge on the second story, and in the center you see what looks to be like a chandelier, but it's just like a circular metal chandelier with just candelabra that aren't lit, and then just tattered cloth just hanging from it.
Any movement inside?
There's a slight breeze that you can see moving this chandelier.
Okay. Just gonna move forward, nice and quiet.
Okay.
Enter
So
building.
the boys are in the building.
I'm following right behind.
You're right behind. Okay, Kimura, what are you doing?
I stay at the threshold and watch until Kimura.
So this is going inside.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't really get an aerial position. Okay, so as we approach, I basically come down in an arc to that position. I'd like to kind of not enter in last.
And
ideally.
I will let her go in and then stand. I want to make a last minute kind of look around, and then I will follow in behind her.
So as I land, what I'll do is I'll kind of aim through the door, watch what Whisper's doing, and then once Whisper's done, I'll just gesture and just be like, okay, we're going in now.
Okay. You enter, and then there's a little bit of light kind of shining through the open door, and then Wisp, as you take a step through the threshold, the door closes behind you, leaving you guys in darkness, unless you have dark vision, where you can make out kind of what I described earlier, albeit in grays and.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm going to tap Kimura on the hip very gently with my staff, and just kind of whisper behind her, "I can't see too well. Just guide me if you can. I'll do my best to stay close."
I literally unsling my leather strapping from my rifle very quickly. You can actually kind of, if anyone that can see it, I actually managed to untie. I've done this drill so many times. I just untie it and then clip it to my belt, and then kind of tap her arm with the other end of it and just say, "Hang on to this."
And I'll grab onto
It's
it.
basically like a lead that she can drop at any moment if she needs to.
Yeah.
And not to spoil that wonderful solution, but
you're gonna dark vision her, aren't you?
Nock sort of, not Nock. Vadr backs up and gets everyone, including Calder, within 10 feet, and uses Eyes of Night to give everyone dark vision for 1 hour.
Dope.
Out to 300 feet.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Oh, shoot. Okay, so we all have mega dark vision.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, damn, the architecture of this place looks fantastic.
Yeah,
it's very nice.
You see her, like...
Reminds me of a casino I went to once.
Where she's like...
Detailing. Okay, I take the strapping back and go, "Lead with that next time."
Well, I'm sorry. And I sort of say,
flicks it back on and ties it in.
Remember, we're still in the shadows, and the shadows are with us. Just but this will help.
Thank you.
Sort of walk forward and looking for movement, basically.
Yeah. And we're in like an open foyer, right? So like stairwell,
so
there's not in front of us.
Yeah, like what is it? I mean, what is it? It's a foyer, but like
there's just a wall ahead of you, and you can see some of like the architecture. It almost looks like a cathedral in a way. Very archaic, very old, and there's no stairs, but ahead of you, you see 2 archways, openings that lead further into the dark. And as you guys are kind of staring and looking at that, you hear a voice. Who are you? You do not hear this echo through the chamber. You hear it in your head.
You?
Every single one of you.
Nox stops and says,
All right. I know I've had my moments.
We all heard it. We all, everyone.
and then
Oh,
he
I
kind of
did.
like has like a sigh of relief and like looks around for everybody else for confirmation eyes.
Yeah.
Good.
Who are we? Now's not a good time to come up with a party name, is it?
Oh, no.
Okay.
Vedranis Victors.
The v-
75th Onyx
Sup-
Legionnaires.
Super cool tiger sharks.
What's a tiger shark?
I don't know.
We are people who seek business with others who have called this place home.
Waits for a response.
This place is home to none but me. What business do you have with me?
Well, who's you?
We seek. Oh, go ahead, Captain. This is Captain Kimura.
Introduces her.
Thank you. We are just passing through. Though, we are looking for something. Perhaps you could help us with that.
Do not be coy with me. Tell me what you seek.
That wasn't in character. I forgot what I was gonna say.
A woman named Karina Licht was killed here.
Thanks,
We
Doc.
need to find a way to her laboratory.
You do not get a response
Hello?
other than the chandelier that is above you all of a sudden becomes a light with the candles giving you a little bit of
Oh,
light. Not much.
okay. So it's still good that I gave them. Okay,
It is still good.
get one of those for long rest.
Hey, my strap has unlimited uses.
So did you know this woman? Or we're the only one who knew of her name.
We should speak face to face. Continue down the right archway. I will meet you there.
I start going that direction.
Yeah, Nox immediately starts walking that direction.
You see, as they're walking, like, Wisp is kind of like rubbing her temples and just kind of like looking very drained in a way. And she just kind of like absent-mindedly says, I did so much work on my mind. It is a shame that so many people are getting inside of it now. And she just follows.
You hear in your head,
Your mind is an open door. Come.
and you guys begin making your way through the archway. As you guys pass through this narrow hall, Nock, you kind of have to turn and walk sideways because the width of your Goliath frame does not quite fit through this arch. You see,
built like a square.
You see alcoves on either side. This hallway continues for a number of feet, and you see these alcoves, and you turn and you see stone sarcophagi. Against the wall, there are etchings with words that say who the person might be, their birth and death dates, and this continues on.
These statues of people that I recognize are in any capacity, or
No, they're just kind of nameless, unfamiliar faces to you. of a variety of, you see dwarves, humans, elves, all sorts of different races and beings.
I'm seeing Nock look at these. Vodder leans over to him and says,
Sometimes statues aren't in the city square. Sometimes
You
they're
think-
locked away.
You think this guy makes statues?
No, I think that these are memorials to people who have died.
Memorial. I would like
Not-
to give myself a memorial.
These are less about glory and more about mourning and grief.
I don't get it. Why make a statue for anybody if you're not going to revere over their glorious achievement?
People are complicated. Some people are full of glorious achievements like you, and some people are just loved and remembered no matter what they were like.
You can have their love.
He just continues to walk on.
and Vodder sees this as a compliment, and Vodder smiles, and he's like,
Yeah, they can.
He slaps a
falls.
nose off a statue as he walks by. A little bit of jealousy. Just
I appreciate your conversations, but please do not drop your guard.
They already know we're here.
I know that, but we don't know where they are, and if they do something, we're screwed. So stay sharp.
You guys continue down for a few minutes before this narrow hallway opens up into another, what appears to be like a similar expansive foyer, but the difference you see is you see a stone desk set towards the back. You see another set of archways that seem to lead down. One of them seems to lead down. One of them seems to lead up. At the back of this hall, facing with their back to you, you see a tall, lean figure wearing a tattered, brackish, dirt, soot-covered robe, and the hood is up, obscuring any features of them. Not in your head this time. You hear the voice call out,
It has been some time since I've had anyone but Kyrogen visit the mausoleum. Again, I ask, who are you?
I am Nock, hailing from the Garcaean Mountains, part of the Thunakalathi clan. This is my band of worthy people, an assortment of adventurers, here to explore the city of Vedranis. Bought here to retrieve some sort of documentation for Sigismund.
And Sigismund seeks Karina Licht, you say?
Her work, her laboratory.
He also wanted to talk to her as well.
She's dead,
Nock kind of like snaps over to Vodder, just his eyes, like nothing like you hear his flesh. Just
"Hear his flesh."
you can hear it. You just
Dr. Karina Licht is dead.
shit. All right, I was just trying
It
to confirm.
says so in this.
and you hear a clatter, like a tinkling of metal, as the figure does not move, but on this gray stone desk, you see a tome, very thick, old, rise and kind of present itself to you.
A book.
The thing you notice is it is wrapped in chain and lock, and it makes a noise, and it's, as you kind of look, you see it is chained to another somewhat similar to it, and then it rests back down on the table.
What is this?
No, of course.
So you
A
said
record of-
there's 2 tomes. One is chained to another tome.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
This is a book of the dead? Those who have died?
It is a record of everyone here at this mausoleum.
You said, wait. Killed here instead of bought here.
Brought
Dead.
here, killed here, in the city.
Does it say anything else other than her name? Any other information?
Why do you seek this information? Sigismund is aware of her demise, as her demise was by her hand. His hand.
We need her laboratory.
We seek to undo what she started in the city.
The plague you speak of, yes.
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 Let us see what information we can find.
And the figure turns, keeps its head down, and begins to move towards the desk.
I'm trying to look for any identifying features on this
Yeah.
figure.
Same.
Yes, I also would like to look around in the room to see if there's anything that has anything connected to Kyrogen, like masks or that same trinket, the symbol that we have on ourselves, anything of that sort. Bodies.
Anything?
As you look, you don't see any Kyrogen memorabilia.
Johnny, are you
Collectibles.
There's a T-shirt that says
Yeah.
Kyrogen's Rule.
People's Rule.
a Pink Floyd poster, but it actually says Kyrogen on it. Just like
And it's a raven skull.
Yep.
Prison and like
Yeah.
What you see is when this figure approaches and keeps its head down, you see a pale white hand, long fingered. The fingernails are long, almost borderline clawed, and it reaches out and touches these 2 tomes. You hear a tinkling as you hear like keys being brought together. The key, as you kind of look, drops down from the hood of this figure. And you see a tentacle, pale white, as the hand grasps it and begins to unlock.
Let us see what we can find.
And it opens the tome and begins rifling through the pages. And just kind of sits there for a moment, just sifting through. This tome is huge. And he begins rifling through it.
In addressing the creature,
Is she buried here? Still.
She is deep down in the crypts of the mausoleum.
You hear the creature let out a hacking, nasty cough. And you see like spittle like drop from the hood. And the hand reaches up and you hear this wet, grotesque noise.
You've asked us who we are. Who are you? What do we call you?
You may call me Halifax. I am the undertaker of this place.
And you see two pale hands grasp the hood and pull the hood down. And you see pale white skin, thin, the tentacled face of an illithid. And that's where we're going to end tonight.
Oh, just sprinkle on an illithid.
I
have
should.
never met an illithid. I have never met an illithid. This is so
should have
cool.
known when you said it was talking to us all in the head, and I was like, no. Shit.
Leave my mind alone.
Shit.
I need it for stuff.
I need it. About to get flamed.
mind.
My mind's telling me no.
But my body.
But my body.
But Casimir's body has told me to get it.
Casimir's body is telling you.
Oh my goodness. I love you guys so much. Thank
God
you.
damn it.
Thank you everybody for hanging out tonight. I was hoping we could talk to him more, but time permitting, so. Thank you everybody for hanging out. We appreciate you as always. Kurt, thank you for the 5 gifted. I think ACN subbed as well. Justin as well. Thank you for the 5 gifted subs. It's much appreciated. Let's go around and tell us what you guys are up to, where we can find y'all that wonderful stuff. Isla, let's start with you.
Oh no. Nothing. Nothing's happening right now.
Boo, wrong.
Boo. We're not.
Boo.
We're not
Boo.
streaming Red M at the moment.
Boo.
We,
Gotcha about it.
I've had a couple of drinks, so I'm just gonna wrap that up.
Yes.
Yes.
Boo! Anyway,
Oh.
so yeah, I'm not streaming any Red M at the moment. Not even playing Red M at the moment. I'm meant to be streaming some other things like Overwatch, or whatever. If you want to see that, come over to my channel and I will do that. And you can watch me suck at playing Reaper, but do well at playing Sombra. It swings and roundabouts. And other related fuckery. If you like fuckery, just hit me up in my channel. Fuck it. That's at
Put out a
Phoenix. That's
t-shirt.
Phoenix. If you like fuckery,
If you like fuckery.
If you like fuckery, basically all handles on Phoenix over. It's FENIKZOVA. It is here. There we go. Hit me up anywhere, everywhere, anytime, any day. Cool. That's me. Rolling on. Let's go.
Hell yes. Justin, where can we find you? What are you up to?
Tell you what I'm up to, because I finally get to tell you what I'm up to.
Yes!
Doc Rimbo. I'm Doc Rimbo here on Twitch. I'm Doc Rimbo on Twitter. On the 26th, Monday, the 26th of July, I am helming the second campaign for InfiniteRP right here as we play Flames of Freedom, a brand new system from Zweihander, Grim and Perilous, which is set in the American Revolution. And it's sort of gothic horror set around that whole thing. We have this stellar cast. We've got Kate Madison, for those of you who know her from Wild. We've got my friend Colin Amicon. We've got Wally. We've got Christina Sid from Good Game Nights. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for this campaign. We're going to be playing the intro adventure Boston Besieged as we figure out what horror and monsters and secret societies have to do with the American
Gotta watch
Revolution.
it, Derek.
You're coming to Boston?
Yeah.
They're going
you're
up
coming
to
to
Boston.
Yes, oh, that's a fucking anthem up in this bitch. I'm so excited. Welcome to my fucking neck of the woods,
Same
Ted.
time as this show, so 8 p.m. Eastern will start, and everyone come and tune in for the premiere, and then I'll be doing behind the scenes just like Cole does, but I'll be doing mine on Wednesdays. And so I'll be planning that. I'm looking forward to doing that and interviewing folks involved with the brand new system, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
It's gonna be really fucking cool.
Yeah.
You guys need to tune into all of it.
That's
Just
so
all
good.
of it. Just
I can't
it's gonna be
wait.
so good. I can't wait either. We've been holding on to it for a little while now, and we're finally able to kind of talk about it more. So it's gonna be it's gonna be so good. It's gonna be so good. So
Absolutely cannot wait. I'm
super excited.
stoked for it. Obviously, we've had our first campaign for Vedranis. We're about to launch this Flames of Freedom. Freaking stoked just to see it all unfold. So
Great campaign.
it's gonna be amazing. So yeah, just come and
Fucking Boston.
come and freaking see it.
Come say hi.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Ray, where can we find you? What are you up to?
Oh, hey, I'm Rayer with a brick. I'm over on my channel whenever the hell I feel like it nowadays. I got a lot going on, but I still managed to make it work somehow. I've been doing Minecraft building. If you're into Minecraft, I'm building something real cool and it's turning out super dope. So tune into those streams. I'm writing a Morkborg campaign, bitches. So if anybody's interested in that, I will be streaming some prep for that. I don't want to do too much because it's a lot. But yeah, no, if you're interested in any sort of that, just follow me on all my socials with a brick, pretty much everywhere, 2Ks, and yeah, that's me.
Ray, I like Morkborg is at the top of my list of systems I want
Oh,
to play.
this is I'm very excited. It's very dark, it's very grim, it's very perilous. If you want a hopeless story in
Yes,
a
I
very
do.
hopeless
I
world,
love hopelessness.
check out Morkborg. Cole got an inside look on what I was doing and what I plan on doing with this campaign, and it is going to be if you think some of these things are scary, content warning for what will come with this campaign.
I was gonna say, if you think
yeah, it's
Vedranis is
heavy.
bad and dark and heavy,
Ooh,
then
just
you're
wait.
on another. This is on another level.
Here
so.
for it. We're here for it. We love it.
Yeah, I'm excited. So that's me. I love being here.
Hell
I love
yeah.
being back as Wisp. So can't wait till next week.
Glad.
Thank God we don't have to continue.
We love having you
too.
back. We're glad you're here.
I fucking love this.
I
Oh,
agree.
This has been the best day.
I agree with Doc. Yes.
Oh, I
Thank
love
you.
it so much.
Thank you.
Oh,
Casimir.
Derek, where can we find you? What are you up to, my friend?
I want to talk about my son Casimir.
Hello, everybody. My name is Derek from atop Derek Mountain, where I hail from. I am gonna be up to a lot of fun things over the next past week. I've introduced at least 2 to 3 characters into the Wild RP verse, so I'm getting back into the swing of RP as I feel at least I've realized that the criminal life is only for me. It's only for me. So I'm been doing a lot more of that, but also variety on the stream too. I got Mechasol coming up this week, a bunch of other fun stuff coming down the pipeline as well. So just staying busy. And if you want to come over and follow any of that, come find me on Twitch or follow me on Twitter or find me on YouTube and watch my old stuff. I promise you, there's something on there that will either make you want to go ahead and click away or make you laugh. It's one or the other. It's a kind of a happy medium.
At least you're there.
At least you're there.
Awesome. And I'm Cole, Lacuna RP. You can find me at Lacuna RP on Twitter and Twitch. I stream sometimes Wild RP, sometimes piano. I play piano. It was terrible. It's fun though. I'm having a fun time getting back into that hobby and whatnot. So I stream sometimes, and then you can find me streaming here on InfiniteRP Tuesdays at 9:00 Eastern, doing Behind the Screen, which is the DM prep for this campaign. So if you want to get an insider look, if you want to see who this Mind Flayer is and what he's about, you can watch the last episode and get an inside look to what's going on if you're so interested in that. But yes, that's about it. We appreciate everybody hanging around. As always, we love you guys so much. You guys make this, just add another level being here and being able to experience this world with you. Make sure you guys stay tuned after the credits. We're going to raid GG Game Nights. I don't know how to say it. Game Nights.
If I'm guessing correctly, our friend Sid is running this game over on that channel. She's going to be in the
Yes.
same Supreme
Perfect.
cast. So
Show some
tell them
love.
we said hi.
Please go say hi.
Yes.
Go give some love to them. Please. Like I said, stay tuned after the credits.
Spread
And
the love.
we will see you guys next Thursday.
Perfect.
Stay safe, love yourself, and we will see you guys then.
All right.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.